Okay, guys, so today I wanted to just do a really quick video just to explain the concept of higher forms, because I know that I've been talking about it a lot and I've been saying all kinds of stuff like, oh, this person is a fairy, this person is a mermaid, this person is a lion, or whatever it may be. So I just wanted to kind of go over how that might work and how I see like the different levels of reality, and just kind of going over some questions that I've gotten over the last few months or so, just ever since I've been starting to talk about this idea of higher forms. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to go over is just how I see higher forms working, and it's just this question of, well, how can someone be multiple things at once? And one of the ways that I've understood it for myself is that in this dimension, like when we're conscious in this dimension, time goes by basically in a straight line. And when we're in higher dimensions, all time can be accessed. So like your past lives can be accessed, your future can be accessed. Everything is happening all at the same time. So because all of these, this is just my theory. I haven't like read a lot on it. It's just based on my own experience. But yeah, it's this idea that when you're like in a higher dimension, you're kind of everything you've ever been. So if you want, you can like skip way into the past when you were, I'll just say, a mermaid, or when you were like a visitor of the earth from another galaxy or another planet, where you entered the earth through, I don't know, some kind of like Stargate or whatever. Okay, so in the higher dimensions, you're all of that. You're everything you've ever been, and maybe everything you'll be in the future. I actually don't know about that. That's very interesting though to think about. But so it's only on this level that time is very slow. Sorry, my computer just freezed. It just froze. I mean, time goes very slow. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. We're very just like stuck in just like this one perspective, basically. So yeah, so sometimes when I see someone, this could be a celebrity or whoever it may be, I can just see that they are holding an energy from a higher dimension, or I can see what other beings that they're living as in like different timelines, a higher plane. Yeah. I think it has to do with time. And yeah, and how maybe in higher dimensions, like if we want to go to like one of our past lives where we were like a mythical creature, we can just go, just like by thinking about it. The way that I find these higher forms, or like read higher forms, there are a few ways, and I've heard of some people who will be able to see someone's higher form by seeing them in the astral. So they'll see like a celebrity and they like might look like they'll know it's the celebrity, but they'll have something else different about them. Maybe they're I don't know, maybe they're like glowing a certain color. So they're glowing like with blue around them, or purple or white. And that's kind of pointing to maybe like what angel they're like, what like archangel they're a part of, you know what I mean? It's that kind of thing. So that's a way to kind of find out. Another way to find out your own higher forms is just to think about the stuff that you're like literally drawn to. So if you, for example, I'll just give you an example. My twin sister, I don't know if she's gonna even watch this, but she was always drawn to things having to do with fairies when she was younger, whereas with me, I was always drawn to everything having to do with mermaids. And it doesn't mean that she never was a mermaid or isn't one, and it doesn't mean that I'm not a fairy or never was. Like, I actually was one, or I am one, because all time is happening at the same time. It's hard to keep that in mind. So just looking at what she preferred, and it makes sense because she has like a stronger fairy energy like on this level than I do, whereas I have more of like the mermaid coming through, yet I also have some fairy. It's like you can have multiple things, you can have like hundreds of things, but I do find that people will have kind of like a dominant energy. Maybe that has to do with how many years or how much time they spent as that particular being. Yeah, basically, why do we look like what we look like in the astrals, and what are the astral forms that we take on? And this is how I see it, just based on my experience. In general, the astrals are they're like a realm of symbols. So, okay, I want to make sure I explain this right, because sometimes it even confuses me, but this is a bit confusing. But I basically see the astrals as like just a more heightened and more kind of in your face version of where we are right now. And so it's like just kind of like a little bit less dense than here. A bit hard to explain this, but I actually believe that it's kind of like this, it's like a control center, honestly. It's like, I like to kind of compare it to, like, you know how you have a movie set and you have like the actual scene area where the actual movie is being played out, and then on the outside you have like the director, and you have like all these props, and you have like the writers maybe. This is kind of how I see the astrals. It's like, it's hard to explain, but for example, when you see yourself or someone else in the astrals, you're seeing them in like a more symbolic way. So if they have, let's say this person has red hair naturally, like on this plane, and it's kind of, well, my hair is, it's more like an auburn, but so for example, like with me in the astrals, it's like I would maybe have like bright red hair because like colors are symbolic, right? Maybe in the astrals you have a friend and they don't have a mouth, they're missing a mouth. That is like a symbolic representation of what's kind of going on with them. Maybe you see like a celebrity in the astrals, and they have like a symbol, they have like, oh, like a triangle on their shirt. So like that matters. It kind of shows like what archetype they're playing. It's like you know, in like The Sims, or if you play Nintendo, like let's say like, I don't know, like Mario Party with all those different characters. You have like the princess, and you have the hero with the red hat, and you have like the side kind of funny guy. I'm talking about Luigi. And you have like, you know what I mean? You have like the villain, so you have all of these kind of preset characters. And in the astral, like, this is just very obvious what character you are. Down here, it's not as obvious. You can kind of maybe tell based on what people like wear clothing wise, or maybe they're like dyeing their hair, or you know what I mean? But it's not nearly as obvious as it is up there. So up there, it's like, yeah, you see like the symbols right in front of you, and you're like, okay, this is like a symbolic representation of the stage this soul is at, like in their development. Yeah. You might even see, this is, I think, also why people will say, oh, in the astrals, I see, like, you see archangels as being like these contraptions with all these eyes. It's like angels don't really look like that in like the true world. So I actually believe that where we are right now, so like this dimension that we're in is like an upside down world that's like based on um like a more like real, I guess, like the real world. I like to kind of compare it to the Barbie movie, where you have Barbie's world, where everything is perfect, everyone's nice to each other, everyone like understands each other, everyone's on the same page, they have unlimited food, so they don't need to compete with each other, they don't have like that automatic judgment of each other. Whereas here we do have that, and it's just kind of like an opposite way of living, basically. So the astrals is kind of like the settings for the game. that's how I see it. And I also see it as being like a place to kind of program events that will happen here. And I think that time is like, you can like go to different times in the astral. So if I'm up there, I could potentially see like a representation, so a symbolic representation of an event that could happen here in the future, though. So I think the astrals can be used to like tell the future and find out what energies certain people are connected to. But to me, it's not like the real world. It's more like I said, like the settings of the game, like where you're picking your character and blah blah blah. So that all exists there. And as for the question of what are elementals, so the thing is, most of like the research that I've done on elementals has just been through actually like reading celebrities. So like kind of getting used to certain energies, so like knowing, oh, this is like a mermaid energy, this is a fairy energy, and then seeing that there are slight differences between them. So an example of that would be how there's like a fairy type energy. I know that they have wings, like I see that they fly and all that stuff, but like for some of them, they have like this extra kind of layer of like a bug type thing going on, where they have like, and they just move faster, so the energy signature is just a little bit more like they're gonna they're gonna like flap in your face or something, and then whereas another fairy that I see will just be like more like just like a more low-key, gentle kind of energy, and they'll be like connected to flowers or they'll be connected to leaves. So that's the way that I've kind of like tried to classify the elementals for me. There are some books about elementals, but I find that they all say something different, and I don't know where that information has come from, but I actually am definitely interested in reading more about elementals just to see if it matches with what I've seen. So yeah, and to me, elementals are like nature that has like gained consciousness, because I can see that certain elementals will be associated with certain elements. So like whenever I see a gnome, I'm talking about like if I see that like a celebrity is a gnome, I can see that they're connected to like I call it like a lower level. So it's like more of like this inner earth thing, more of like dirt and usually greenery as well. Whereas obviously mermaids are connected to like water in the ocean, but also there's a difference between like the energy of a mermaid and then the energy of like a dolphin person. So yeah, the fact that we are these elementals right now, like as we speak, we are living lives as these elementals. It doesn't really make sense for me to worry when people worry about like calling on the fairies or like using the power of the fairies, because like you are one. So and all of these elementals and all of like your higher forms, like they're all made by one source, you know what I mean? So yeah, that, and I feel like that's like the reason why I'm doing all of this. Just to show that you have all of these higher forms that you think are all these interdimensionals. Like you've lived lives as these higher forms, and you have like kind of added that kind of signature, like that energy signature, into your like soul experience and like your soul body. So it's not like, oh, like elementals are bad and like this certain star race is bad, and that it's like, no, they're all made by the same thing technically. And it's not about thinking that like you're only like this angel and everything else is like beneath you. Like no, you have lived lives as these beings that are like lower forms technically, even gnomes, even dwarves. And I think it's really important for people to understand that we are very, very, very cut off here. So you might think that, oh, like the mermaids are so healing and so magical, I'm gonna like call on them and try to connect to their energy. The reason why you don't understand how you could be healing and magical is because you're literally like in this realm. Like we are very, very cut off. It's like this idea of, I actually posted about this recently, but it's this idea of you playing a video game and those characters, those like, well, I guess they're three-dimensional, but they're very flat. They have like a set character. They have like a set amount of lines that they can say. They don't know you're there playing them. Like they have no idea those characters in the game, right? Like when you're playing like Mario 64. I always loved Nintendo 64, but Mario doesn't know who you are. He does not know who you are. He doesn't know that you're controlling this whole experience of his. All he can see is like this world that he's in. So you are, it's like that's how you could kind of see your higher self and your higher forms. They're like behind the scenes, controlling, playing you, but you are them, right? The same way that the player of the video game is kind of like living through this like video game character, this like Mario character. So yeah, just really think about that. Think about how cut off you really are from like feeling like that energy of source. And yeah, so this is how I see star races. Sometimes I will see that a celebrity is a different like type of human, like they're like mixed with an animal basically. So you have like the cat people, the like insectoid, the dragon people. Serious. What else? Oh yeah, you have like the aquatic people. So you have like the dolphin and the whale people, and you have the bird people. We love them. Or I love them. So with all of these star races, I think so the way I see these star races, and this is actually something that I found out recently that it really clicked for me and it really made sense to me. This was on one of Gigi Young's videos where she talks about how in like throughout history there have been certain like, they're not like alien races, but they're like types of humans that like live in other realms basically. So for example, this is what I think this is where I think the lion people come from. I actually think that they came from a planet or maybe a realm that was like totally like ancient Egyptian themed. So everything we see here, like on this earth that has like that ancient Egyptian look, that is like the original designs that came from their realm. And a lot of people who are like lion people, they will usually have some kind of connection to ancient Egypt, or they've had like a past life in ancient Egypt. So yeah, I find that interesting. And in the video, Gigi Young was saying that there were certain times in history where certain like star races just came to visit Earth. I think just to like share knowledge and to like, they basically set up their own, like I call it like the Epcot Center of their own planet. So and then she said something about how some star races have tried to like artificially come into the earth. So they didn't wait for like their stargate to open. They just like found a way to come, and it's like they aren't able to like totally exist here because like they're not like the same resonance as the earth. And I don't know why, I still don't know why they would have done that. But yeah, so I think there's like variation in the star races where some are, I'll just say it, like some are not able to exist on the earth. Like, I guess you could say fallen, but I don't know the exact mechanics on how they became that way. But then there's other star races that they seem like they're good. They seem healthy. They're like connected to their original source. So yeah, I still don't know why those certain star races would have tried to enter artificially, like what their reason was. Maybe just straight up for survival. Like, I've seen some star races, I just like seen in visions that they, like, their planet was dying, so they had to do something about it. Like, they didn't just want to die on the earth or on their planet, so they wanted to like move to another planet, right? Like, I feel like anyone would want to do that. Yeah, so I don't think all star races are bad. Some people think so, though. If you have any information on star races and like what their intentions are, it seems that it's like certain star races like appear to be like more like removed from source to me. And it's interesting because some, like with the bird people, for example, I don't know if I should even be talking about this. Oh well, whatever. Yeah, I don't even know if I should be talking about this, but with the bird people, some birds are more of like that fallen kind of race, and then some have like all this power to them. So like, it doesn't necessarily, for some races, yes, like most are fallen, but for example, yeah, like with the birds, like you kind of have like a 50-50 thing going on, where like some birds are okay and like healthy, and then some aren't at all. So whale and dolphin people are pretty good. They're fine. They like seem okay. So yeah. Same with dragons. But anyways, I'm not going to mention the ones that are the more fallen or like darker. You guys, you know. I'm sure you know. And if not, you can look on my blog. I'll actually link a post of all of my short videos, and you can just look at them there. I actually took down some of the videos about the darker races, but I'll add a post below. So it is pretty interesting, but I have definitely found that your higher form could affect how you talk, like your appearance even. Eye color, I actually find super interesting. I totally believe that like eye color and hair color is like a representation of like a higher form. So cool. But so this is something that I've definitely noticed. An example is how like mermaids have like a very sleepy voice. It's like that water element causes that. You also might see that like the races aquatic races have like this more kind of like how I'm talking right now, sorry. They have like this more soft kind of like meditative voice. So it does, it can have a really big effect. If you're a dragon, you'll have like certain traits. So it's very interesting how that works. I definitely think that's true. And I definitely think this is something I forgot to mention in the beginning, but I definitely think certain groups, so like all the mermaids, all of the lion people, or all of the dragon people, or all of the fairies, they are connected to them as a group are connected to an even higher color ray, or which is connected to an archangel. You can call this like an oversoul. So like that is pretty interesting. So for example, like the lion people being connected to the color blue, and mermaids being connected to the color blue as well. So yeah, to me, higher forms are kind of like this. They're kind of like the in-between of you and these archangels, which are working for like God or like the source. The color rays are part of the preset, and it doesn't mean that color rays or archangels are bad. It's just they're just like a group soul, or like an oversoul that multiple people are a part of and multiple people are expressing. And I think that, for example, like the lion people will all be kind of connected to that blue ray, which is why they can be so focused on like revealing like the truth. To me, lion people are very like, they want to find the truth. Like, they'll do whatever it takes. They'll say whatever. They just want to expose the truth, basically. And that could be considered like a Archangel Michael type trait, you know what I mean? So think about it. Yeah, this video went on way longer than I thought, but I just kind of rambled, and you guys can take like whatever resonates from it. I really just wanted to give like an overview of why I even talk about higher forms and what it means on like a larger scale, I guess, or what it means for your spiritual development. And if you want, you can check out any of the links below from my blog. I'm going to link to my post that I did on energy streams, where I talk more about how different star races and elementals connect to like a bigger color. And yeah, I'll put everything I talked about in this video down below. So I'm always so bad at, never know how to end videos. But yeah, thank you for watching, and yeah, I'll talk to you later.